Okay, so welcome all.
Indeed, welcome.
I didn't expect that many people here. So, yeah, my name is Stef, and this is Edward.
Yes, and we have some background, Stef.
Yeah. So, yeah, first of all, let's start with this globe, because, yeah, you are here for the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire workshop. But our mission is to connect the world, really. And there's no better way in showing that to show you this globe. Every yellow line you see is an active Lightning channel opened by one of our community members. And this is a live streaming, actually. It's auto-updated every 4 hours. So, yeah, again, our mission is to connect the world. So as you can see, we are pretty good at that, right? Edward?
Well, 36 countries, so...
36 countries involved, and these are 790 channels up until now. So we can now do the presentation.
And then we can dive into what a Ring of Fire actually is.
Yes, can we have the presentation, please? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool.
Thanks.
So, yeah, connect the world. Well, Edward and Stef, our mission is to connect the world. We do that with a weekly podcast, which is available at all major platforms. We also have a news website called the Daily Moon, where we publish all Lightning-related news, because we are real Bitcoiners, but we focus on the Lightning Network.
Yeah, and we have a Twitter feed that you can follow to stay up to date.
And a Telegram
Lightning news
feed.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, as I already mentioned, we are also from the Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire community. And Edward will tell you all about what you are going to learn today.
Let me get a thing. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to explain what a Ring of Fire actually is and why it is helpful, because it looks spiffy and nice, but what is it and what can you do with it? And how can you create your own? And of course, this only works if you already have a node, a Lightning node.
Yeah, maybe we can raise some hands. Who has a node over here? Oh, pretty much, actually. Okay.
Then you're in the right spot. And those who don't have a node, perhaps after this will set some up. The Lightning Network, well, it has been discussed a lot today already. It's a second layer protocol on top of the Bitcoin, designed to scale the number of Bitcoin payments, and it makes instant payments possible everywhere in the world. And low-cost transaction, that's very important. You can use Satoshis through Lightning channels without any hassle. So that's everything that's needed to make Bitcoin a real payment network for the future, thanks to Lightning. That's what we believe, of course. If you have a Lightning node, then you need to have a payment channel, because otherwise you can't change the liquidity to one side from another and pay a transaction. So a payment channel is nothing more than a multi-sig wallet with funding in it. It's locked inside that payment channel. And the opening and closing is included on the base layer. And payments only recorded by the nodes involved. So if a payment passes through your node, if you're an intermediate node, of course, you can also see the routing on your Lightning node. Inbound and outbound liquidity, that's the most important thing, because otherwise you can't pay. So we made a visual. This is, in fact, a channel. The local balance is on my side, for example. It's my node, so local is Edward, and Stef is on the remote side. And you see that there are some sets on my side and some sets on his side. But if you open a channel on the base layer, it's got recorded, and the liquidity is inside the channel, but it's only on my side. So if I can pay then, Stef, if I opened it to him. But if I want to receive sets, for example, in my web shop, or I have a brick and mortar place that I want to sell some things, then I must be able to receive sets, and that's not possible if I have the liquidity on my side. So that's a problem that we try to deal with. So get inbound liquidity, and you see here a ring. So I'm going to explain that. A ring of fire tries to solve this, and the workflow is that you have in our community, we have a lot of members, and we have the liquidity there that you can choose from. And in a ring, every node owner has the ability to open a channel to their neighbor. And if you do that, then you can have, and Stef will explain it more, you can have or make a payment to yourself, and in that way all the channels in the ring will be balanced, and that's what we try to do. So afterwards we rebalance all the channels with a magical tool from the Igniter script from Rusoft, made by him. That makes it possible. That's what we use, and we use it because it makes it easy. And that's what we try to do. We try to help people that are new to Lightning and to guide them along through the process. So the birth of Ring of Fire, actually, it started with Soul Exporter and Chino. Those are two developers. And they believed in a strong partnership of nodes. And also nodes are people. So it's important that you can have a partnership, an agreement with a channel, with another person. And the goal is to create, like we said, a decentralized and strong distributed network. And the Telegram groups that we use are, you can compare them to a marketplace for Rings of Fire in all liquidity sizes. So you can choose which liquidity size you want to participate. And how we started is in 2021. The Satoshi Radio Dutch podcast started with a tutorial playlist on YouTube, where he showed how to set up your node. So that's where it starts, of course. And in that way, you can participate and donate also to the creators of the podcast. So 250 users, I think more now, set up their node and donated and contributed. And, then you have a node, but what can you do with it? Of course, Ben told a lot of things that you can do with it. Those are very interesting things, but you need inbound liquidity to be able to do some transactions to receive them. So connecting to others was the next step, and the Rings of Fire concept made it fun to actually use your Lightning node. So not only to set it up and to wanting to route, but set it up and actually pay for something and receive payments. Shall we open a Ring of Fire? Well, that's how it started.
Bitcoin is dead, was the quote, right? Because
Bitcoin is
the mempool was completely empty.
Indeed. And in July 2021 was it, we created the biggest ring, up-to-date Ring of Fire, with Laptop Man, Stein, and 8 team captains. So we divided them because we had 65 members in the ring, so 65 nodes, with the liquidity of each channels that they open was 1 million. But it was the amount that made it such a difficult task, because 65 nodes and then balance the ring in one take, well, that was difficult. And you hit the borders of L&D, and that was the most interesting part. That we also spoke to some people from Lightning Labs then, and that was a community-driven experiment that went crazy. So these were some rings. We also made a 21 million ring. It was a special ring, and that was crazy. And then we decided, a distributed network doesn't only needs to be in the Netherlands, of course. So we organized also rings with Norway, Norwegian community that also is busy with mesh take on it, and Latin America community and many other countries. And in that way, we thought, well, let's change to English and let's start a podcast. That's what we did. So after a couple of months, we transformed it all to an international community. And up to this day, we updated it yesterday, I think. We have 192 rings with more than 1,400 participants, but 43.65. Well, it's a lot. Pushed in the network.
Yeah, by the community itself, right? So,
yeah, so
it's not our Bitcoin.
no, indeed. And that's what makes it interesting. That everybody is willing to push it into the network because they believe it is fun, and it will. Add to something. And 36 countries. So the procedure, I'm going to give this to you.
Thanks, Eddie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me talk you through a bit about the procedure. Again, you must have a node to start in a Ring of Fire. You can scan this QR code to enter the Telegram group of ours, or you can just type in t.me/Satoshi Radio ROF. Again, it's completely managed through Telegram, so that is good to know. So you also have to be active on Telegram. When you enter the group, you will see, well, not this, because it's a very active group, but you can click on pinned messages. If you're familiar with Telegram, you know that the pinned messages are the most important messages within a group. So you can click on it and then search for this overview. And then, as you see here, we have all kinds of liquidity. We're starting from 500K up until, well, this says 10 million, but we also have half Bitcoin, so 50 million rings, Ring of Fire. Little disclaimer, if you're just getting started, just start with the lower liquidity. I think from 5 million and up, it's for the more experienced node operators. If you go from 10 million and up, you also need Wumbo enabled on your node. So it's better to just start with a lower liquidity if you're just getting started. If you want to participate, you can just click on sign up through poll at the bottom of the ring you choose. And then you can just click on it and you will see something like this. You can click on participate, on unparticipate, of course, if you change your mind. And then when the group is full, and in this case we need 6 people, when the group is full, you will get a notification or in your DM from me, one of the masters of ceremony, as we call them, or someone else inviting you into the subgroup, because we always open up subgroups for every ring. Well, yeah, it looks something like this. We also make a nice logo. So this is the 30th 5 million ring we did. These are the countries involved, and of course, when I had to take screenshots for it, so I asked all the guys within this ring if they are okay with me taking screenshots of this ring.
So they're willingly doxed, right?
Yeah. They're a bit doxed, but they all said, sure, no problem. So good for you to know. One of the first pinned messages is the question, do you want to be the ringleader? Because the ringleader, as Edward already mentioned, will send a transaction to itself. I think, it's a bit maybe too much to explain now, so I will just skip that part. We have plenty of ringleaders within our community, so if you're just getting started, I think you just have to vote no maybe next time. It's better.
So it's never no, it's no next time.
Next time,
it's
of course, you will be someday. Yeah,
exactly.
This is also one of the pinned messages. It's a complete guide, what we are going to do, how you have to open, how do you have to sign up for the Ring of Fire. And also, we use a Telegram bot, which we named Ring Tools. It's made by Jury. He's a pretty good developer. And he made a bot for us that completely automates the whole process. Almost completely, because I still have to put in some commands, but then it will work itself. When you enter the group, in this case DJ Maestro entered, and it says, well, welcome to the 30th 5 million Satoshis ring. Please share your node ID and then /participate plus your pub key. and then you will be automatically added to the overview, and the overview is looking like this. So these are all the guys that are participating in this Ring of Fire, and yeah, we open, the first one has to open to the second one, and so on and so on. Right after everyone has signed up himself, I'm checking with this small command if there are existing channels, because yeah, you really want to have fresh channels. You don't want to need to open a Lightning channel to a node operator who you already have a channel with. So that is for me a way to check. So if there are existing channels, I will have some information here about the base fee and the fee rate they are charging. So in this ring, there were no existing channels, so that's a sign to me that I can just proceed with the procedure. Also, this is, by the way, the rof.tools website. So it's a web application also built by Jury. This is also for me a way to check, because in this graph, oh, I can go one back, I guess. No. Yeah. Yeah, yes. So in this graph, if there are existing channels, there will be lines between the node operators. So again, in this case, there are no existing channels. So we can head to the next step, and that is opening all the channels. So this is the message that you will see. You may open the channels. You have to raise your fees, because we don't want to route yet, because we still need to balance the ring. To make it even more practical and more visual, we also use this logo. And this is also a live image. So you see all the small parts. They are now a bit dark. And when a channel is live, it will light up a bit. So we can keep track of the progress really good. And yeah, the thing I like the most about our Ring of Fire community is that it is really social. So you are on Telegram, talking to each other all the time. Yeah, I made some screenshots from the most important messages for this presentation. But of course, in between, it's just gezellig, as we would say in the Netherlands. So we just always talk to each other, not always about the Ring of Fire, sometimes about just some basic stuff. And it's also needed, because again, this is really a social happening. This is a nice overview. So as you can see here, you see all the red crosses. That mean that the channels aren't opened yet. RingTools bot is actively searching for the latest gossip. So when you open up a channel, RingTools will receive that gossip, and then it will automatically update this message with a green check mark. So again, it's a way for us to keep track of the progress. As you can see here, Dragsuk, he's from Norway, by the way, really nice guy. Yeah. He opened the channel, and RingTools received the gossip, and then it put in the green check mark. When all channels are opened, then RingTools is showing this visual. So, and it says, all channels are established, this ring is on fire. So that means that all the channels have been opened, and we are now going to proceed to the final step, and that is balancing all the channels. And for that, I already mentioned, we really need a ringleader. Well, in this case, it was Big Ninja, who volunteered to be the ringleader. RingTools bot is making him the ringleader, and is posting all the details that what he has to do on his node. To be a ringleader, you really have to have some experience with command line or SSH. So this is something you have to keep in mind. But again, we are there also in the group, so you can also ask us. And RingTools is showing basically every step you need to take. So, well, if you don't have that much experience, you should be fine also. First is to pick a date and time for the balancing, because everyone has to be present. We have to lower the fees, because otherwise the ringleader has to pay a lot of fees for this transaction. That's not what we want. So we have to agree on a date and time. And then the next step, and this might look a bit technical, but it isn't, to be honest. Again, RingTools is showing the ringleader, so Big Ninja, exactly which step he has to take, option 1, option 2, etc. And right after, we balance the ring. Sometimes we couldn't be done it with 0 fees, so sometimes we have to pay a little. But also Ring Tools bot is showing us exactly to whom the fees are paid, so the ring leader can invoice them back. So I can't say it's completely trustless, but I always make sure that the ring leader gets all his sets back if he paid some fees. And right after we're done, we have a nice balanced check mark on our logo. And because this is all voluntary, so me, Edward, and the team, we put a lot of effort into it. But again, it's all voluntary, so we have a little donation option by the people who participate or the people who just want to donate. We built our own Telegram bot, so if you want to donate using that bot, you can also put in a nice text, which then will automatically post it in our Satoshi Radio Rings of Fire Telegram group. And then, let me check. Yeah, the balance, we're done. A small video with also a QR code, I think.
Explainer.
Is the QR code also in here? No. Oh,
no.
It's not. Okay.
No, it just says how to do it.
Yeah, and now I will hand over it to Edward again. Because
what's next then?
What's next?
Right, you have balanced channels. But then you want to do something else with your node, of course, because you're not done experimenting. And I've put some tools and scripts on the presentation to just give some insights about what you can use. For example, for node management, Writer Lightning and ThunderHub is mostly used by us. And ThunderHub, you can also combine it with a backup function, and Writer Lightning, I like it a lot because you can also do multipath payments and some other nice stuff. Experimenting, you can, of course, mempool.space, most of you know it, I think, but it's a blockchain explorer that you can run on your node. So on your Lightning node, a non-custodial version of mempool.space, you can verify your transactions yourself. That's the power within the node that you just built. And Balance of Satoshis, that's because a lot of members ask us what can we install, so we give them some insights about that. Balance of Satoshis is mostly considered more difficult to install, but nowadays with Lightning Shell,
you helped me. I couldn't do it myself.
Yeah, but your node had some other issues. But it's nice. You can also connect it through with your Telegram bot that you can make yourself. So that's amazing. I will explain later about something else that you can do with that. And then experimenting with automated fees and auto rebalance, because a balanced channel, some people think, well, it needs to be 50-50. It doesn't need to be 50-50. It's just nice to have. But of course, it will organically, that's what you would want, organically go to the one side and other side, and will always have liquidity on both sides. Well, that's what you want. But changing the fees can help. So fees make it less or less. How do you say it? You can with the fees you can put a high fee, and then it goes to one way or the other direction. So that's an important thing. And auto rebalance. The persons that we talk to who have very big nodes mostly do it by hand, everything. So this is fun. You can try to do it, and then you can learn from it. I think that's more important. And then you can understand it, because if you set everything on auto, then you're not actually understanding it. Other inbound liquidity possibilities, of course, there are a lot others. So, for example, Magma Lightning Marketplace. I've made a tutorial one time. It's fun to test it, and if you want an inbound channel, you can just check their marketplace and buy one. Flow from voltage, also a possibility. Lightning Network Plus is looks like our same concept. It also is a ring. but ours is guided, and we have the bot that helps you with it, and we're all Telegram based. And LN Router has liquidity ads and balance of Satoshis. That's fun. I use it a lot, and you can use a dual funded. You can make a dual funded channel with BOS, but it's of course you must have contact with the other node owner. So that's,
maybe it's good to add that the big difference between those parties and our community is that we are really a social
indeed
happening. Actually, so you get to know every pair you're within the ring, so you can have a little talk. I mean, there are people participating from all over the world, so it's really a social happening. I think that's the main difference. The downside of it is that, well, you are in all different time zones, so the whole process can be a bit slower than one of these options, but that's the main difference.
Yeah, indeed. And you can participate, of course, with other rings of fire. Explore and understand all the metrics. I told earlier that's important to understand it, and if you want to open a channel, you want to know to whom do I open it, and what is a good, what will make my node rank better, or have some better connections, or more distributed. That's also a possibility. With lnrouter.app you can choose for a more distributed or a higher ranking. It doesn't say anything, but it will point you in the good direction. So you can simulate opening a channel to a big node and check what it does with your node within the Lightning Graph. So those are great websites. And then, last but not least, you can of course donate with your nodes, and you can connect it. That's super easy with Zeus, LM Wallet, Blue Wallet, for example, and so many other tools like LB. You can log in with it with your node and run LM bits. Didn't include it, but of course, and that's what I wanted to show later. Multipath payments is also possible, and with LM Bits, what we did, and that's really fun. Perhaps you already seen it, but it's I need to cover it.
The QR.
Because this is a NFC card, and it's made possible by Setsback. We built our own node also thanks to TunnelSets. TunnelSets is also very interesting because then you can run your node hybridly, so on ClearNet and over Tor. So you disguise your IP, but also have better connection, and it really changes the connection of your node. But this NFC card you can use here or at our meetup. We have a meetup this night and tomorrow night, and you can pay for everything with this card, and you can import it in your Blue Wallet, and that's what triggered me. Blue Wallet, you can import it into it, and then it's your bank account, but then with sets. Yeah, it's really easy. Yeah, and fast. So I would say what I always say at the end of an episode. See you on our Lightning channel, and we need you to complete our mission, connect the world. That's what we want. So keep those nodes running, sets flowing, and meet you all in our community. That would be nice.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.